Hello everyone, it's the Canadian Wifier here. You know, these birthday videos used to be kind of cute. You're turning 19, you're turning 22, 24, it's all fun and games. Suddenly you're turning 30. The Pokemon, they change, but the game stays the same. Time marches forward for us all. Today I'm bringing you some OU with a team I've had quite a bit of success with lately, including a Pokemon that is definitely my favorite from Generation 9, which is Hydrapple. Grass Dragon, they made one last generation, they gave it Thick Fat. That's a pretty good ability on a grass type. You know what's an even better ability on any Pokemon? Regenerator. Slap it on anything, it's going to be fantastic. The standard set in both UU and OU, I can't believe this thing is actually UU, is max HP, max special attack, but I'm running a max defense, max HP set with Nasty Plot. Super good, great switch into Ogerpon and a lot of physical attackers in the tier. Meowscarada is a Pokemon I didn't even give the time of day when I started getting back into Pokemon this generation, but I've had my lunch handed to me so many times on the ladder by this thing, I had to give it a try. I'm running Choice Banded, but I know Heavy Duty Boots is also very good. The coverage is absurd and the speed tier is fantastic. Outside of that is standard Terra Water, Curse, Garganacci, 2 attack, Rapid Spin Rocks, Rocky Helmet, Great Tusk, Choice Scarfed Goldengo, which is pretty sweet. I run a lot of defensive sets with Nasty Plot with this thing and Recover, but Choice Scarf seems to get a jump on a lot of people. It obviously also has Trick, as it is a Ghost type, and slightly more bulky than standard King Gambit, because it catches some people by surprise, and the speed tier is low enough that it doesn't really miss the speed. My opponent has Webs, and I'm going to predict his lead Ribombee by leading off with Goldengo. I'll be able to outspeed 2 a KO it. I concede the Webs turn 1. I'm also immune thanks to my ability to any weird things like Stun Spore that he might want to go for. Turn 2 he goes out into a Cinderace, but I still have a Great Tusk to switch into with the Floppy Helmet, as I now threaten him immediately with removal, as he goes to Ribombee and tries to Moonblast me, but I defensively Terra Poison to not only live the hit, but then also Rapid Spin, remove his Webs, and get back to speed. Looking at his team now, he doesn't actually have anything that takes on Great Tusk, as Serperior can't kill it now that I'm a Poison type. So he makes an interesting play, goes out into a Enamorus, baits the Ice Spinner, but Terra Steel defensively goes for an Iron Head, which is now Stab, and now predicting me to go for a Headlong Rush, now that he's a Steel type, goes out into his Air Balloon King Gambit. And, I mean, it's interesting because he had to play around a defensive Poison Great Tusk Terra that I really did just to remove the Sticky Web, but it did a number on his team, as I get up Rocks predicting a Sucker Punch, which works out great because now I can break the Mimikyu's disguise, and I'm miles ahead, but watch this. He holds up a red card, dragging me into a random Pokemon, and Great Meow just gets obliterated by a player off. So, not ideal, but I can scare him out with a Scarf Shadow Ball. I think sacks his Cinderace and then goes back out into King Gambit, knowing that I'm locked into Shadow Ball, which is very scary. I sack Great Tusk for just a little bit more Floppy Helmet damage, and at this point I can go out into my defensive Great Worm, live a hit and kill with Earth Power, but I get flinched, which sucks. Now I need to sack something else to get a little bit of Regenerator. I go back out into Great Worm, but he does not want to risk another flinch because he would lose his King Gambit. Goes out into Mimikyu, knowing that I have to keep that around. On the Play Rough, I'm going to go out into Goldengo, live the Play Rough, and I can 2-hit KO the incoming Serperior with Shadow Ball. His King Gambit was a little bit too low to switch into 2, so he brings it in now, can set up a Swords Dance on my last Shadow Ball, and predicting a Sucker Punch, I'm going to go out into Hydrapple, and at this point it comes down to the same thing. Do I get flinched? I do not, and I'm able to kill off the King Gambit. My Great Worm is a little bit low, his Mimikyu comes out and tries to just go for Shadow Claw. That is not gonna kill. I eat it all up. I literally eat it up as I eat the Mimikyu, get back to 24%, and his contrary Enamorus comes out, tries to win late game with Superpower. Unfortunately, I live that too, and Great Worm's just a little bit too great defensively as I am able to win that first game. Second game here, we have a team that I saw a couple times on ladder. Must have been an RMT. What I don't see though is a Keldeo. Do you see a Keldeo? I just see a giant fucking hammer. I also see a Teapot, I also see a Dragonite. Here comes Tinky Minaj, it's on a balloon. So I'm going to U-turn there, pop the balloon on turn 1, and head out into my Great Tusk, as Great Tusk will now be able to threaten it, as it's lost his balloon. But I'm actually able to dodge a Thunder Wave that way, and seeing this Teapot is very scary. With Strength Sap and Calm Mind and basically better Giga Drain, it can easily sweep my team. So I'm going to trick the Scarf on it so it's no longer a problem, and go for Assault Cure on the switch as he brings out this Gliscor, that's the name of that Pokemon. Knowing that I'm pretty safe against that thing, or at least assuming I'm pretty safe against that thing, I'm going to go for a curse, as I know that Salt Cure on this thing's very reliant on his leftovers, so I know getting a Salt Cure on it will be great. I curse, forcing him to Whirlwind me. I also can't really do anything else on this turn, so I go out into Great Tusk, and now predicting the Teapot to come out and block my Rapid Spin, I'm going to go for another Ice Spinner. This is a very spin-centric Pokemon. Rapid Spin, Ice Spinner, it's a Great Tusk, wouldn't you know? Knowing that Great Worm's now a great switch into this thing, because it's locked into one move, I can go out into this thing, go for an Earth Power, predicting Dinky Minaj. Use this opportunity to get up rocks, as I'm able to get a great roll into a KO it. Goes back out into Travis Scott, and I'm not quite sure why, because Shadow Ball's still not going to be doing too much. Like, I have a massive HP stat. Use this opportunity to get up a nasty plot and kill this thing off with a Fickle Beam, and my heavy duty boots will allow me to switch out, but I assume that this thing can't really kill me, because like water moves are resisted and Secret Sword hits defensively, but he whips out Aura Sphere, assuming he's choiced to go out into my Great Tusk, but he's not choiced, and now I'm in a world of hurt. I'm back on the back foot. So speaking of foot, I'm going to go to Great Meow and make a nice prediction on the Dragonite, go for an Ice move, killing it, and bringing in Gliscor to a Pokemon that just revealed an Ice move is super obvious, so obviously he's going to go for a defensive Terra to not be weak to Ice. I use that opportunity to switch into this thing, because seeing the defensive normal, this is like a Facade, SD Facade set with Protect, and normally SD Facade Protect, they also carry Knockoff as their last move, and if that's the case, which it is the case, this seasoning completely beats him, as he does not have Earthquake. He lacks Earthquake, and I resist Facade. So at that point, I'm able to go for Assault Cure, Curse Up, just like before, and Great Meow comes back into the battlefield, and at this point, Choice Banded Flower Trick. This is a 70 base power move that always crits. Coming off Meowscarada's speed and attack, that's just going to be the game, as he realizes that he cannot win and forfeits with a Ground type and a Water type in the back. So that is Game 2. I thought it was a little bit hot, so let's get on to Game 3. Game 3 here. I still don't see a Keldeo. Do you see a Keldeo? Oh, there's the Keldeo, but it was a hammer just a minute ago. Clearly this was some kind of RMT or some kind of popular team that someone posted somewhere. Maybe Pokegame uploaded with it. I saw this team a whole bunch of times on ladder, but can we talk about Keldeo for just a little bit? This Pokemon was top of the line. The greatest thing to grace the field in Generation 6 and 7. Unbelievable. And in this generation, they give it Aura Sphere, because I guess Secret Sword wasn't enough, and they give it Flip Turn for damn pivoting, and somehow it's still in UU. The power creep has gotten out of control. Save my boy Keldeo. I was looking through old teams that I used and made in Generation 6 and Generation 7. And oh my god, I used Keldeo on just about every single team. I'm sorry for putting every single one of my viewers through so much Keldeo spam. But you know what? Maybe I knew what I was doing, because that Pokemon is fucking fantastic. Great Water type. Tinky Minaj is here, and Tinky Minaj is going to drop that hammer. Finally, we get to see the hammer in action as I go out into Seasoning, and wouldn't you know it, Mold Breaker Thunder Wave is kind of cool, because generally this thing is immune to status and resist Ghost thanks to its ability, which is partly why Great Seasoning is such a disgusting Pokemon. It's immune to Willow, immune to Toxic, all that kind of stuff. Goes out into Keldeo, kills me with Surf, but wouldn't you know it, this thing can come in now at full health and threaten. It's going to go for a Nasty Plot, and I slow this down here just to kind of describe what's going on. He goes for an SD with Gliscor, and I go for a Fickle Beam. If you look on your screen, Great Worm is going all out for this attack. Fickle Beam, think Scald. Scald has a 30% chance to burn, Discharge has a 30% chance to paralyze, Fickle Beam has a 30% chance to be double as strong. It'll go from an 80 base power move to a 160 base power move. And wouldn't you know it, the lucky Canadian Wi-Fi here is going to get a triple Fickle Beam double damage, and Great Worm's just going to pop this guy out of existence as he goes for a quick forfeit. Because I Terra'd Fairy, I don't think it mattered against the Dragonite. Pretty sure I would have been able to beat it anyway, and at that point I think the game was all snack wrapped regardless, but I just thought that one was funny and worth sharing. On to the fourth game. My opponent, AIDSBEP, has a very scary offensive looking team, and predicting the Samurott to set up spikes with his crazy move that is not only an attack but also sets up spikes. I'm going to lead with Meow, go for a U-turn into Moltres, and don't get burned, which is fantastic. Go for a little Salt Cure on the switch, as we end up getting a little bit of residual on Zamazenta. Off to a great start, but that great start is frozen immediately as I get frozen on Great Tusk by fucking Ice Fang. And unfortunately that's going to put me right on the back foot. Look at this Scorching Sands. What the fuck even is that? Congrats to Moltres for getting a great coverage move, but like, huh? So I'm forced to burn my Terra, go for a recovery. I know I need a little bit of chip on the Zamazenta, so I'm going to once again season it beautifully with some salt. And He goes out into Samurott, predicting my Great Tusk. I'm not quite sure why he wouldn't set up spikes, but I guess I do resist that dark move that sets up spikes. So he just goes for a flip turn, and at this point, like, Great Tusk, you're useful because you have a floppy helmet, but you're not that useful, so... Great Seasoning is here. Samurott is here, but he's salted, so this allows me to get a little bit of recovery on my Great Seasoning, and now I'm up at full. I'm feeling good against this Moltres, and unfortunately he's going to Terra Flying, hit a Hurricane, get the Confusion and the self-hit, and then he's going to follow that little performance up with another Hurricane hit. Fantastic work. Hax is flying left and right. I am flying through the air, and I hit the Moltres 3 times total in this game, and do not get burned a single time, so perhaps we are equal in this Hax journey. I hope that it's physical. I see knockoff. I'm lured into a false sense of security that maybe this Iron Valiant is physical. It's not physical. I get bopped by Moonblast, and I don't really have a switch into it, so I can scare it out with Great Cheese to a KO, but unfortunately, I'm forced out again as he brings out Dragonite, assuming that he's going to go for a Dragon Dance or an Extreme Speed or something of the sort, but no, he goes for Scale Shot, which I've never seen a Dragonite use before on ladder. Very interesting. Thanks to that extra bulk I was mentioning in Team Preview, I'm able to live the Earthquake and get off an Iron Head. Predicting the Sucker Punch, he goes out into Iron Valiant, and getting a little bit of chip here before I die to an Aura Sphere, a special Iron Valiant. I didn't even know it got that. I always just see close combat. Ice move, gonna get all 3 hits, kill the Iron Valiant. We're in this game, baby. Triple Axle on the Iron Threads. I assume he predicted me to switch into Goldengo, but why would I do that when he has Earthquake? This is basically just Excadrill, but with better speed. This Iron Threads is a Steel Ground type. I'm able to kill it off. This turn I'm going to pause because it's pretty interesting. Zamazenta comes in. He is a very fast fighting type. Obviously I'm an Ice type Meowscarada. I will die to an attack, and I need Meowscarada to win me the game. So I do go out into Goldengo. I think I can live a Crunch even if he predicts that. And, well, as we're going to see here, I do live the Crunch because Goldengo is an absurd Pokemon. I'm able to outspeed and kill him with Shadow Ball, as if he were to switch to Dragonite that turn, he would lose, as 2 Shadow Balls would kill Dragonite. I am immune to Extreme Speed, and then I would outspeed and kill the Zamazenta. So he was forced to sack. Now he brings out Dragonite. I am a Scarfed Pokemon with an attack already locked in, ready to go. He can't Extreme Speed because I'm a Ghost type, which means he can choose between Dragon Dancing, in which he would still be slower after the Dragon Dance, and then lose, or killing me after living an attack, but then he's slower than Meowscarada, and then he would still lose. He would need to have a move in his arsenal that not only attacks but also raises speed. And ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen a Dragonite with Scale Shot? I haven't. I don't know if this is a loaded dice Dragonite, which is absurd, because, like, man, just run Terra Normal Extreme Speed, it's so much better. But clearly in this case it worked for my opponent. I'm not afraid to upload a loss, because I thought that was a really interesting game. Hacks flying left and right. This is Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. And one last game here. This is Pokemon. My opponent here, Klaus Mikael, has a pretty standard looking team. They have a Roaring Moon, currently being suspect tested in OU. I have never once used a Roaring Moon. It's a very furry Salamence looking thing. I have absolutely zero opinion on it. I'm back on my main account. I lead off with Great Meow. Unfortunately, Dragapult is faster and likes to carry Will-O-Wisp. So predicting maybe, hopefully just a U-turn. Meowscarada is 4 times weak to U-turn. Maybe I could get some floppy helmet damage on him with Great Tusk. But he bops me with a Will-O-Wisp, and at that point I'm like, well, let's just get up rocks and sacrifice, because a burned Great Tusk is not that useful. Great Seasoning, however, not only resists Ghost, but is immune to burn, so I figured let's go for Assault Cure on the switch. He goes out into Great Tusk, and I'm going to blow my Terra early here. Terra Water predicting the ground move, which is exactly what happens, and then I figure if I go for a Curse, well, he goes for ground move. Not only will I get a bit of lefties recovery, but I'll be better defensively, and here we are sitting pretty. +1, +1, 70%. I'm a water type. The switch is pretty obvious. Let's get a little bit more salt on something. Slowking comes in. Boy, you get salted. It looks like it's AV or something because there's no lefties recovery. I've now revealed my whole set as he dies to an Earthquake plus Salt Cure. He brings out his Iron Valiant, and I have to be cognizant of the fact that there's still a Future Sight in the air. He goes for Moonblast, and it does way less than I thought it would, to be completely honest with you. I throw some salt on it. He is being well seasoned. At this point, I go for Recover because I don't want to die to the combination of Moonblast and Future Sight, as he reveals Calm Mind. Take the Future Sight attack. It also doesn't do very much. At this point in the battle, why wouldn't I go for an Earthquake? He has already revealed Calm Mind. I don't want to sit here as a sitting duck. What else am I going to do? Curse? Of course I'm going to go for an Earthquake. Salt Cure plus Earthquake might just kill him, and I know he can't kill me with Moonblast. Like, it is mid-battle, still pretty early in the battle. We both have full teams behind us. Let's get some damage. I'm already at +1. But he goes for Calm Mind. At which point, I can just recover this turn, knowing he's going to die to the salt at the end of the turn regardless, and he probably wants some damage off. That turn worked out way better than I could have imagined. Did he misplay? No, of course not. It was me who misplayed, as he goes off on me in chat for playing like a retard. Ladies and gentlemen, Showdown in 2025. Remember all those times in 2015, 2018, 2020, you're playing with your friends in call, and you get called a retard in chat? It's still there. Pokemon Showdown don't change. I'm still just a retard playing Pokemon, according to Klaus Mikael. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was super fun to put together. Oh my goodness, my biggest takeaway is I used to be really good at these post-narrated videos. I used to do them in one take. I'd have like 4 battles and I'd roll through the team preview. It would be Camtasia 1. And that's it. I'm at 14. This took me 14 takes and slicing things together. I used to be pretty good at public speaking, clearly. And it seems like these days I can't even form a thought without making an edit. So another idea that's been bouncing around in my head is if you've ever watched the Mindcrack server back in the golden age of Minecraft YouTube 2013, 2014, 2015. When it was kind of in its dying days, Good, the owner of the server, got all of the members together, one-on-one. He would do like an hour-long video where they would build a statue together and talk about how they met and the times together and just kind of reminisce as almost like a send-off, knowing that it was the end, where he'd have one video left with each person that he could look back on in the future. I've been thinking of doing something similar to that, but with Pokemon. One Showdown live with each of my old friends from back in the day, because I know we're all busy, we've all moved on to bigger and greater things, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, I don't know about the logistics of reaching out to every single different person and trying to organize a Showdown live in the year 2025, but it has been something I've been tossing around in my mind is, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be a nice little homage to the olden days? Tom Bus has been uploading a lot lately as well, some Generation 6 Overused, which has gotten me looking back through old teams from old generations. And there's a lot of Gen 6 and Gen 7 teams that I think would be kind of fun to upload with. As well as Generation 9, I've really been enjoying Generation 9, and the lower tiers are a lot of fun, and I feel like I've finally put together a team where I'm comfortable in every single one of the tiers, so if you guys are interested in some UU or RU or NU, let me know about that down in the comments as well. I have the itch once again to upload and play some Pokemon, so for those of you who are still watching in the year of our Lord 2025, let me know down below what you're interested in seeing, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.